Hey friends, it's Michael Kostroff. Today I want to share with you a tool that I've found really helpful in dealing with situations where I feel nervous or intimidated, uh, career-wise. Um, and it's something you may not have thought of. It only took me, I don't know, 50 years or so to figure out. When I switch my focus to taking care of people, and I promise you this is not being about being noble. Fuck that. This is purely selfish for dealing with your anxiety and nerves. When I switch my focus to taking care of people, I find that it reduces my nerves. So if I remind myself before auditioning that the folks on the other side are nervous about the casting process and about finding the right person, that puts me in a place of, oh, okay, guys, it's okay. We're all here. I'm fine. Let me take care of you. Uh, it makes me much less nervous. Um, Going on set, this happens a lot with actors who are doing, one of their earlier acting jobs. They go on set and they put themselves in this low status place where everybody else is much more together and accomplished, and there's a danger that we'll be exposed as frauds, and all we get into all this weird stuff. I've coached so many actors, or spoken to so many actors who book their first co-star, and the first thing they say is, "I hope I don't get fired." It's just remarkable how many times I've heard that. "I hope I don't get fired," which isn't a thing that happens. Um, when I put myself in the mindset of taking care of the folks on set, and I don't mean in a way that's like, "Hi, is there anything I can do for you?" It's not that. It's not, and it's not like, and what do you do? Oh, sound. It's not that. But it's particularly true with celebrities. It's very easy to feel intimidated by celebrities, and you're afraid to talk to them, or you don't want to bother them. Blah, 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 blah. Um, if you think about protecting them from the nervousness that they sometimes encounter around fans, it's such a gift to them. It's such a gift to them. I tell you, my experience has been, and I've worked with a lot of big names, that they just want to go to work. When they're out in public or at an interview, they've got to keep up this celebrity thing, and meeting fans. It's an extra level of effort. Now they just want to do their acting work, and I can help take care of them by treating them like an equal and not making a big whoop about it. Years and years ago, I was doing an episode of a TV show with fucking Sally Field, and some other big names. And here we were gathered around the director talking about the scene. And in the middle of it, I said something like, "I think if Sally does this," and I went, "Did I just call you Sally?" She goes, "Yeah, it's fine, but Michael's right. I think we have to do this to get around to this." She just wanted to do the work, and I made her more comfortable by calling her Sally and just sort of collaborating like I belong there. When I think of that as taking care of them, because I certainly don't feel secure enough to be like, "Hey, Sally," but if I think of that as a way of taking care of them, making them more comfortable in the work environment, it helps me feel less anxious and less nervous and less intimidated because I take it as part of my job. Again, same with casting people. My callback for Spider Noir, which everybody should watch, by the way, it's great. Um, I was on a Zoom callback with, I think, 12 people, 8 people, a bunch of people. And they had me do the scene again and again and again and again. And I realized, oh, they are nervous. They want to make sure they're making the right choice. They want to try all these things that we don't need to try now, because he'd be like, "Can you make the last line angrier?" I'm like, yeah, I can. And I just thought, let me give them as many different takes as they want, and help them in their process. It's a real mind shift, um, but one that I think makes the other person more comfortable and makes you more comfortable. Um, and I know it's a tall order, especially if you're newer in the business. I know it's a tall order. I know it's a hard adjustment to make. But I just wanted to start planting the seed that being um, obsequious and bowing and being nervous and being like, oh, I'm small, you are large, does not do any good for anybody else. It doesn't make them feel great. It's weird. Um, I get recognized in public sometimes. I find it very flattering, very flattering. Um, when somebody is nervous around me, like I'm some sort of whatever, it makes me very uncomfortable. I don't even like when people call me Mr. Kostroff. I'm like, it's, if they come up and say, "Hey, Michael, I just want to let you know I really love your work." It's so nice, so nice. People are always like, "I'm sorry to bother you." I don't understand why anybody would be bothered by that, but um, I'm more comfortable around people who are more comfortable. So even if you have to fake that in order to take care of the other people, you're doing them a service. You really are. So uh, that's all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump said. Tell me your thoughts on this. Is this something you've experienced? Is this something you've never thought to an approach you've never thought to try? Um, I'd like to know. Like I said, it's a little bit of a different way of thinking, but it 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 it, it helps a lot. All right, friends. More to come. I'll talk to you next week.